Voters are being presented two different proposals for first home ownership after both major parties officially launched their election campaigns. Labor has promised to build 100,000 new homes exclusively for first home buyers, while Peter Dutton is proposing one of the most radical changes to Australia's property market, allowing first home buyers to deduct mortgage payments from their tax. And the Liberal leader joins us now live in Brisbane. Good morning to you. So the consensus among economists is that this will increase inflation and make the cost of living worse. What do you say about that?
Well, Nat, I'd just say to every young Australian home buyer, the Coalition is serious about helping you get into a home, and this allows us to provide deductibility on a loan up to $650,000. And it's a really important step because it builds on the other steps that we've taken, and it shows that we're serious about being the party for home ownership again. People have lost that dream, that hope, and we believe very strongly that because it only applies to new builds, to new units, new homes, it's going to increase the supply, and that's the view of the HIA, the housing industry experts as well. It's going to encourage construction, which is really important. But this just means for young couples, for individuals as well, there is a huge opportunity now to be able to get into the housing market, and it means that for the first 5 years of the loan, you've got that deductibility in place against your income, and it could be the game changer. But it builds on the other 5 steps that we've taken in relation to home ownership as well.
Yeah, it sounds good if you're a first home buyer and you think, OK, this is great, I can deduct that money. But how is it going to increase supply? Because the 101 of economics is if you increase supply, the price will come down. We need supply in this country, but the barriers to supply, aren't they? Increasing land, cutting red tape by councils, cutting the cost of building materials, and we don't have enough tradies. How on earth is this policy addressing any of those things?
Well, you've just spoken to the other points of our plan, Nat. So what we say is that we've already announced a $5 billion plan to work with councils, so to help with sewerage and with roads and with water upgrades. That brings 500,000 new blocks of land onto the market, so that increases supply dramatically. We've also said that we're going to provide support to building companies, so there's a $12,000 incentive for them to put on new trainees and apprentices in construction. We're going to cut the migration intake in this country because the government's brought in 1 million people over 2 years. They all want somewhere to live as well. And we've also said that we're going to allow people to access $50,000 of their super to help them put a deposit together, which helps them get into a home more quickly. And we've also said that we're going to put a 2-year ban on foreign buyers so that they're not competing against young Australians who are at the auction and they just can't get the successful bid because they've got somebody with deeper pockets there. So all of that together means that if you vote Liberal or National at the next election, you've got a much better chance of achieving your dream of home ownership. Yeah,
you're right. We need that broad policy. Yep. But if everyone in that category, let's go back to the first home buyers, if everyone in that category is getting help, won't that push up the prices in that category? We saw that with a lot of the COVID handouts in housing.
Nat, it would if you didn't have the supply side, but we've really been working on this policy for a long time, and we've looked at, if you push here and it pokes, out there, but all of the different interactions. But this is the best opportunity for young Australians to achieve home ownership. The Labor Party wants people to be renters for life. I want people to get into housing as quickly as possible. I want to be the Prime Minister for home ownership and for housing accessibility. We've got tax cuts as well to provide people with support now. We've got the 25 cent a litre reduction in fuel as well, so that people can get some support now. And across the whole of the economy, we need to bring down prices, which is what our gas reservation plan is about. It's Australian gas. Instead of it all being exported, we want more of it for the domestic use, which brings the wholesale price of gas down by about 23%. So it means the cost of construction materials, of bricks, of steel, of windows reduces as well. And that has a huge benefit across the economy, not just for the construction sector.
OK, Peter Dutton, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure, Nat. Thank you.